Waheguru ka Khalsa, Waheguru ki Fateh. My name is Gurmat Singh, and in today's video I want to compare and contrast the differences between a traditional Amritvela practice that Gursikhs do and the one that Yogi Bhajan gave out for an early morning practice, which he called his Aquarian Sadhana. That's what he called it. Now, I believe that I'm in a really unique position, if you will, to describe the differences between both and the experiences that I've had with both of these early morning practices. I practiced this Yogi Bhajan Aquarian Sadhana, as he called it, for some 30 years. And for the last several years, I've been practicing a more traditional Gursikh practice that adheres to the Sikh Maryada, and that many Gursikhs do in practice. Now, just as a short synopsis, if you will, of the differences, so that it will save Gursikhs and anybody doing an Amritvela practice a lot of time and headache, if you will. The Gursikh practice, getting up in the Amritvela and reciting Gurbani and doing Waheguru Nam Simran, is far and above in its benefits to that of Yogi Bhajan's Aquarian Sadhana, as he called it. I've just experienced so much more peace, insights into anything and everything, and a connection with Waheguru, much more with the Amritvela traditional practice than with Yogi Bhajan's this Aquarian Sadhana that I used to do. There's also a lot of empirical evidence about the actions of myself and other Yogi Bhajan followers who practice this Yogamat practice, if you will, of Yogi Bhajan's. And the empirical evidence just shows that these disciples of Yogi Bhajan are corrupt and debauched. That was my experience. And I think it really directly relates to how they did this Yogi Bhajan Aquarian Sadhana. And some did it really religiously. And I can, like I said, I can attest to my own experience and actions that this Yogi Bhajan Aquarian Sadhana was some kind of like crack cocaine or something, and it really juiced us up, and you know, it goes along with Yogi Bhajan's general philosophy of just fake it and make it, and all of his other debauched teachings that are clearly anti-Gurmat. Anyway, so that's just a short synopsis of the differences. I want to go into detail about the different practices. So compare and contrast again Yogi Bhajan's Aquarian Sadhana and the traditional Gursikh Amritvela practice. So first, let's talk a little bit about the Yogi Bhajan quote Aquarian Sadhana. So you understand about it, and you can judge for yourself what is better. Anyway, so we used to get up about start this Aquarian Sadhana at 3:45 in the morning, and this would take place in the Gurdwara, and we would start by, to be fair, we start by reciting Japji Sahib, which is okay, and I think is probably a good start. But from there, this Aquarian Sadhana of Yogi Bhajan's really deteriorates. So it's kind of a mix and a match of, or a hodgepodge of Sikh practices and also these Kachabani mantras that Yogi Bhajan gave out. I won't go into each one of them, but let's suffice it to say that he would cut Bani, and he would combine it with his kind of crazy Yogi Bhajan mantras. And then there was one mantra that Yogi Bhajan, described as a Hindu Sanskrit mantra, which he described it as being like the precursor to Waheguru, which is really sacrilegious and just completely out there. So this is the way that it would go. Now, I want to point out, I think, which is very important, is that how Yogi Bhajan's Aquarian Sadhana involved doing yoga asanas in the Gurdwara. And I have video here, which I think you can see here pretty well. I'll just start it here, and you can see how the Yogi Bhajan people, this is in Espanola, New Mexico, where they have what they call their mother ashram. And you can see where they're doing yoga asanas right there in the Darbar of Sri Guru Granth Sahib Ji. And this goes on. This is after they do Japji Sahib. And then they do these yoga asanas for about 30 minutes. That's part of their sadhana, they call it. And by the way, as many of you may know, the word sadhana is a Hindu term, if you will. It's not even it's not really a Sikh term at all. So Yogi Bhajan combined a lot of Hindu mantras and practices with it was a hodgepodge, really. It was like a synthetic hodgepodge of Hindu and Sikh practices. Yogi Bhajan's mother was Hindu, I found out later, and lots of reasons I believe that Yogi Bhajan had his own Bhajan mutt, if you will. And he tried to combine all these practices. And, you know, there's a saying, you can't have your foot in two different boats. You're just not going to be able to cross the world ocean if you have your feet in two different boats. So this is what Yogi Bhajan did and had us practicing. He had all his disciples, whether you were a Sikh or whether you were just a yoga student, he had them all doing this Yogi Bhajan Aquarian Sadhana. And I want to read for you just a description that was written by this Anshuman Vikram Singh Meredith. Now, he was in the Yogi Bhajan group for some 20 years. And I communicated a lot with him. He gave me a lot of insights into the differences between Yogi Bhajan's Bhajanism, if you will, and the difference between that and Gursikhs. So this is something he wrote. This would be back in 2016, I believe. And it describes the Yogi Bhajan Aquarian Sadhana. So, the Bayadbi, disrespect of Gurbani and Sri Guru Granth Sahib Ji, you see in the video, takes place every morning inside the Yogi Bhajan Dera Gurdwara. The woman in the video is a long-time Yogi Bhajan disciple. This was early in the video, but sitting where the camera is zooming in, just under the portrait of Guru Ram Das Ji in the Darbar of Sri Guru Granth Sahib Ji. In 1992, Yogi Bhajan commanded that all of his disciples, Sikhs and non-Sikhs, do something he called the Aquarian Sadhana. This was to be done forever. In other words, it is a permanent part of this Bhajanism. And so they're still practicing all of these crazy Yogi Bhajan mantras and this doing yoga asanas in the Darbar Sri Guru Granth Sahib Ji. And I don't need to tell you all that these yoga asanas are really more part of the Hindu Vata practice rather than Sikh practices, because I just saw a article about how the Jethadar of the Akal Takht has banned any kind of yoga asanas being done on the Prakarma of the Darbar Sahib. And here these Yogi Bhajan followers continue with impunity, just doing these Yogi Bhajan asanas in the Darbar of Sri Guru Granth Sahib Ji. It's really shameful. So Yogi Bhajan's Aquarian Sadhana is a curious mixture of Gurbani, Yogi Bhajan Kundalini yoga asanas, and mantras that are cut and twisted from Gurbani. There's at least one Hindu Sanskrit mantra that is chanted during the Yogi Bhajan Aquarian Sadhana. The Vayanti mantra is a Hindu mantra chanted every morning at the Yogi Bhajan Dera inside the Gurdwara. This mantra is called, this mantra chanted every morning in the Yogi Bhajan Gurdwara inside the Gurdwara. The official 3HO Yogi Bhajan website describes this mantra as follows. This mantra was given by Patanjali, a great yogi. It is said that over 2,000 years ago, Patanjali was lecturing students on prophets who would come in the Iron Age, the age of Kali Yuga. He prophesied Guru Nanak Dev Ji's coming into the world and gave the Vayanti mantra, which describes Waheguru. And so then this is really sacrilegious too. How Yogi Bhajan is saying that the Waheguru mantra was initially given out or prophesied by this Patanjali, which is nonsense and just really sacrilegious. But this is what's described on the 3HO website. I'm just reading right from their website. This Patanjali said, he prophesied Guru Nanak Dev Ji's coming into the world and gave the Vayanti mantra, which describes Waheguru. The Vayanti mantra also predicted the coming of the Waheguru mantra. The Vayanti mantra is known for awakening the intuition. This is what that says on the 3HO website. The Vayanti mantra is one of the mantras on every Aquarian Sadhana CD. And they do that every morning here in this Espanola Gurdwara and all the 3HO ashrams and Gurdwaras all over the world. It is chanted every morning inside. This Vayanti mantra is one of the mantras on every Aquarian Sadhana CD and is chanted every morning inside the Darbar of Sri Guru Granth Sahib Ji at the Yogi Bhajan Dera Gurdwaras. According to Yogi Bhajan, the practice of this mantra is the culmination of hundreds of years of prayer. This is a Hindu and Sanskrit mantra. So there you have it. That's sort of the essence of Yogi Bhajan's quote Aquarian Sadhana. There are many Hindu Vata practices that Yogi Bhajan prescribed and that his followers, his 3HO disciples and followers, continue to practice. And I can attest, as I said earlier, that the results of practicing this Aquarian Sadhana are really, in my experience, really debauched. The actions of followers and disciples that I knew just show it. There's empirical evidence that these Yogi Bhajan's disciples have turned into criminals, people who are promoting anti-Gurmat practices. And, you know, you have to ask yourself, where are the saints and sages if Yogi Bhajan's Aquarian Sadhana is so great? I certainly didn't experience any kind of saintly character or whatever when I was practicing these debauched Aquarian Sadhana practices of Yogi Bhajan. I think that it's clear that they're anti-Gurmat, they're anti-Sikh, and they're not what Marietta and Guru Gobind Singh Ji, Siddhi Guru Gobind Singh Ji's Rahat would allow for. So just to save anybody looking at these practices a lot of time, I went through it the hard way, if you will, and experienced this Yogi Bhajan's Aquarian Sadhana. Don't do it. Don't even try to experiment with it. That's just my advice after 30 years of practicing as Aquarian Sadhana. Now, to contrast it with the Gurmat Amritvela practice that I've been doing, my wife and I have been doing for the last several years, there's just a world of difference. It's just completely a different feeling. I feel peace and tranquility after finishing. I get up at 1 a.m. in the morning, take a shower, and prepare myself for reciting Gurbani and meditation and the Nam Simran, Waheguru Nam Simran. It's just bliss. When you finish, you just feel great. I can't think of any other words to describe it. In fact, you really can't describe it fully in words. We've been participating with a cyber Sangat from Los Angeles, and that makes it even more special and more beneficial to be able to do your Amritvela practice with the Sangat. It really is a real blessing to be able to participate in this Amritvela with other Gursikhs, and you just feel a deep connection. And again, it's just a peace and tranquility. We do Sukhmani Sahib and many other Banis, Shabad Hazari, all in the Amritvela. And it's really wonderful. Of course, all the 5 other Banis. And then do Ardas, and they take a Hukamnama. This is at somebody's house there where Guru Sahib is in Prakash. So I am just so filled with joy and happiness about being able to, that Guru Sahib is just, you know, out of his mercy and grace, been able to bless us, my wife and I, with this Amritvela practice. I'm just in awe about the greatness of Waheguru. And this was something I never experienced when I was doing Yogi Bhajan's Yoga Mat, or his Aquarian Sadhana stuff. So if anybody has any questions about the differences, or wants to be able to discuss the differences between these practices of Gursikhs and this Aquarian Sadhana of Yogi Bhajan's, please contact me. I'm happy to discuss it and talk about it. In fact, it would be nice maybe to do a little podcast or discussion with other Gursikhs about what their experience has been with practicing Amritvela, the proper Gursikh Amritvela practice. So I'm really, like I said, just in really chardi kala about practicing these Amritvela practices that Gursikhs around the world participate in. And I'd like to share that with everybody and have an open discussion about it. Thank you for your time. Waheguru Ji Ka Khalsa, Waheguru Ji Ki Fateh.